Story time about my abusive narcissist adopted mom, part 2. Go to my page for part 3. I'm taking my hair down, so don't worry about it. When I was 9 years old, we was over one of her friends' house. This was the aunt of her real daughter, so my little sister's real auntie. We was over her house and we was playing with her auntie two children. She had a daughter and she had a son. I was best friends with the daughter at the time. And we were outside and we were chasing my little sister's dog, and the son tripped me and I broke my arm. My mom did not take me to the hospital. I went in the house screaming, crying. Do you not know that she took up for her son's friend? As I always told y'all, my adopted mom never had my back. She always put other people before me. So my mom friend basically was trying to convince her that my arm wasn't broke. She was like, her arm not broke. It's still able to move. Nothing's wrong with her arm. She's faking. And my adopted mom listened to her. So we went home. My arm was hurting so bad. I just cried because at this point, I'm 9 years old and the abuse was already bad. But to know that my mom would allow physical harm to be done to me by others and not do anything. Mind you, I did another story time of when this same son punched me and blacked my eye and my adopted mom did nothing. She continued to gamble and play cards when I told her. So I complained about it at school for weeks, and then the school finally reached out and told her that she needed to take me to the hospital because something was wrong with my arm. When I go to the hospital, they told me that my arm was fractured in 3 spots. Also, I caught that same son touching on my little sister. So I walked into the room and he was older now. At that time when he tripped me and punched me in my eye, we were kids. He was like maybe 14 when I walked in on him behind my little sister, and she looked like she was kind of straining. She didn't even look like she was in too much pain. That's how I knew that she had already been molested before. Now, when I left out of the room, I immediately ran to the kitchen, and in the kitchen was my mom, his mom, and my mom's other friend. If you have watched my other story times, you have saw me do story times about how my mom, for example, I did the story time on when I asked my mom for food. She told me no, but she gave her friend some. This particular friend was also in the kitchen. So I just ran in there like he was just in there touching, hunching on my little sister. And my mom was like, why would you shout that out loud? Why wouldn't you say that in private? Why, how much more private can it get, bitch? It's only 4 of us right here. Me, you, his mom, and your friend. This is who needs to be right here. When we got home, she took my little sister in the room and coached her not to say anything. But around 2021, I had to kind of call my sister's dad to like let him know that she was acting out. I always had to do that, by the way. Like I always had to call her dad because her mom did nothing. So when I called her dad in 2021, I told him, I was like, yeah, your nephew, he touched on her when we was, younger, and your baby mom told her not to say anything. I also did a story time about the time when my baby sister was freshly born. So she was a few months old and she was in her car seat by the front door, and my adopted mom had the iron plugged up right there. She set me up to go play with the baby. Now, mind you, she never would tell me to go play with the baby. So she told me to go play with the baby. My arm touched the iron. I still have the mark to this day. My arm blistered up so bad. Like it touched it for a good little minute. And she did not take me to the hospital. She laughed and told me to put Vaseline on it. Go to my page for part 3.